Vanderhall's office. May I help you?
Yes, this is Brian Becker from Donnelly Marketing. May I speak to Mrs. Vanderhall, please?
She's in a meeting right now.
Would you tell her I'm on the phone? I'll hold, please.
I'll see if she can be interrupted.
Would you please? I'd appreciate that.
Okay.
Vanderhall.
Rose, Brian Becker from Donnelly Marketing and Information Services. How are you this afternoon?
Busy.
Good. Listen, I'd like to make this brief. We've had a little situation here that I'm having to jump in on. Unfortunately, you had responded to one of our ads about a month ago, and the service person assigned to your account was just committed to a mental institution, and I'm trying to follow up on all the loose ends of that. Do you recall receiving any information from Donnelly in the past 30 days or so?
Yes, I have, and I'm really just surprised that it's taken you 30 days to get back to me.
Well, we have, as you can quite expect, after we picked all the files out of the trash where the individual had thrown them and pulled them out of the sardine wrappers, it did take a little while to reconstruct. We had to wash the ketchup off of your file, and we apologize profusely. Normally our people don't crack the first 60 days. This one wasn't quite as tough as we'd anticipated. I'm going to have to apologize again because we don't have all of your files. Some of it did go down the toilet. Perhaps you could bring me up to date on the reason why you had responded in the first place. What was your need or your interest in demographic information, Mrs. Vanderhall? It hung up on me. Are you still there?
What did you say?
Excuse me. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Who was that person on the line?
I didn't think that there was anybody on the line. I think we're having some static interference here. What exactly is it that you want?
I'm trying to follow up on your interest in information services. Had Joe talked to you at all before he was committed?
Who?
Joe was the salesperson, Joe Vagabondo. He was the rep who was assigned to your account, and according to our records, it called you 2 to 3 times, although we can't seem to ascertain what specifically you were speaking about.
Well, I think it really is a little late in the game. The proposal that he was supposed to submit to me, quite frankly, Mr. Becker,
yes,
was something in excess of $100,000 that we've let loose to CACI.
That really is bad news. I suppose we should probably just wash this sale clean, unless, of course, you'd like a competitive counter-proposal at this juncture.
No, but I'll tell you what I would like you to do. If you can just recapture that file from the trash can and wash the ketchup off, I'd appreciate it.
Well, listen, perhaps as I'm cleaning it off, the $100,000, although it's obviously not a great big piece of business, we are willing to have starter accounts, and many of our bigger accounts have grown from accounts your size as well. What specifically are you planning on doing with information of the type we might provide, if I may ask?
Well, I really couldn't say right now. It is a very sensitive topic, and I couldn't really tell you that right now.
Did you discuss it at all with Joe in the 3 calls he called you before, again, he was so tragically committed?
Was he tragically committed?
Oh, I don't want to go into the details of it. I more prefer to focus on your problems rather than Joe's, God rest his soul.
Jesus, I like Joe so much.
He was absolutely a prince among men, and perhaps that was one of the problems. The strain of being such a nice guy in such a dog-eat-dog world perhaps got to him.
I thought you said he was a jerk.
I know. Joe, a jerk? Are you kidding me? He was my brother-in-law. Why would I ever say something like that about a man like Joe, a prince among men?
Absolutely.
Again, if we could get back to the proposal that we are unfortunately a little tardy on right now, what specifically are you involved in the marketing area?
As I said, we really can't talk about it. We're entering a joint agreement with a fairly major organization, and I prefer not to talk about the details.
Well, I don't think we would need to go through the details to certainly discuss the capabilities. Obviously, many of our clients are in similar situations. Their marketing plans and use of the information, in fact, is very secretive, and rightfully so. We, in fact, are providing tools, much as a banker provides the tool of transferring funds while not knowing the actual application of where these funds are going.
What has that got to do with anything?
It has to do with everything. We can be quite secretive and yet still be very, very beneficial to you and your business. We needn't know precisely who or what you're dealing with as long as we
And that's
comply.
pretty apparent that you don't.
Well, of course, and perhaps if Joe hadn't been under the strain of major sales such as you apparently had, maybe he would be around to be servicing your needs more. But
well, Mr. Pecker, as I said, I really do think it's too late.
Becker with the B, please. I don't use the Dutch spelling anymore. It was several generations ago that we changed that to avoid some scatological references, but we are, as I say, both apologetic in terms of poor Joe and I. And knowing how much you appreciated and liked Joe, I'm sure you realize that all the more tragic that he has not been able to follow up on the account.
Nor anybody else.
Well, this is exactly why I'm dealing with you right now. Of course, it was several weeks before we were able to fumigate Joe's office and get in near the records.
Well, it really does seem, quite frankly, a day late, dollar short. I'm sure you've heard it before. That's the way it is.
$1 short. Now you're talking about the competitive aspects of our proposal, which I'm glad you did bring up.
No, only $999,999.
We are, in fact, an extremely competitive company in all respects. I think if you have a major proposal, joint ventures usually typify situations of major magnitude, and we obviously are a company who deals in that type of situation. But
how so?
How do we deal in situations of major magnitude?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of Mr. Dunn or Mr. Bradstreet? It was the first corporate merger in the history of the world.
Is that right? How interesting.
Absolutely, and we are very experienced in helping other people form those kinds of ventures that could be those long-lasting associations.
Well, we're really not interested in that.
It could be Vanderhall and whoever you're hoping to merge with, which of course we aren't prying at this juncture to find out, but if you're willing to at least give me the generals, if not the specifics of it, I think we might be able to be of assistance.
No, I don't. As I said, I really don't think we can talk about it.
How long have you been a bitch in this kind of business? I mean, my time is invaluable, for Christ's sake. I mean, I'm a director of marketing. I'm following up with a little schmo Joe who got thrown in the slammer for being a wacko and doing drugs. Now, you got a $100,000 piece of business. Are you going to give me a shot at it, or am I going to go to your boss? I mean, there are competitive restrictions at a big company like yours. We've been through your trash, too. We know who you're going to merge with, bitch.
Mr. Pecker, I am the boss.
Well, let me rephrase my handling of your objection then. If you're the boss, perhaps we could kick back maybe 15 to 20% off the top, and there is a trip down to Rio. I have a couple of extra tickets. You're delighted to be welcome to have them, of course, upon signing of the contract. I think I have your interest now. Perhaps we can meet later for cocktails. The 21 just has an excellent Veal Francesca. 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'll be there. I'll be the man wearing the seersucker suit, the large red daisy in my lapel, and the wad of $100 bills in my right hand. What will you be wearing?
I'm the gal with the carnation in my teeth.
You're the big gal. We should have no trouble finding each other. 7:30 to 8 tonight, say, at the
Did
21?
you say floundering each other?
I perhaps said that, but I mean, it was hanging around Joe's files that's made me this way.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. It is a date then, is it not?
That's interesting.
Is it a date not?
You've got a date.
All right. See you over there, sweetheart. Okay.
Bye-bye.